Hey guys, welcome back to We Got Balls. And today we have an interesting topic for where we are here in 2024. If you're listening to this long in the future, Scott, who knows what's going to be going on 2034, 2044, way into the future. But today we've got a conversation about AI girlfriends. And if you're wondering, what is it about virtual relationships that are really appealing and really can turn you on, you want to stick around and listen to this episode.
Or boyfriends.
Or boyfriends. Or boyfriends, whichever it is. So, yeah, Scott, when I was looking up the information about this topic, one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it was because I'm on Facebook a lot, and I'm just sitting there, going through posts and feeds, and I'm a Reels guy. I don't know if you're a Reels guy. I like to scroll through the Reels just
I
to see
do
what's
not
out
like
there.
reels. They
So,
annoy me.
they can annoy. For some reason, I get a lot of construction reels, but on the advertisements in Facebook, occasionally I'll see an ad for an AI girlfriend app. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I did a little deep dive into the app store to see what was there, and there's some crazy stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to download anything that's going to require me to pay anything, so I didn't get very far with it. But it got me thinking, and then I got thinking back to a movie that came out 10 years ago with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson, the movie Her. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yep. And there's
So,
another one, Ex Machina, that was kind of in that
yeah, but
same
that's a
genre.
different kind. That's like a robot
That
deal.
was a
But
that was
Her is, yeah, Her is this guy falls in love with his operating system essentially,
yeah.
and that's kind of what I feel like as I'm looking at these apps. Is this is a chat bot girlfriend? This is pictures are generated based upon what turns a guy on, but more than that, it's curated conversations that are really focused on a guy. Whether you're turned on by a man or a woman, you get someone's voice, someone's picture, and someone's words that can attune to you in a way that seems real. And man, if you're lonely, I mean, gosh, that would seem really attractive. Wouldn't you think so?
And the ability to generate these with video, in
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
near time or real time will be. It's just around the corner, right? With deep fake
It
video.
is. Right now they do like still frames in sequence, which seems like movement, but that's the closest they can get to video realism.
That's like dial-up porn.
Yeah, we're getting there though. It only
Yeah.
took a few years to go from dial up to broadband.
Yeah.
So we're almost there.
So basically what we're talking about is it's some kind of a sign up service, pay for service where you
Yeah.
basically go and fill in your preferences. I like this size boobs. I like this kind of hair color. I like this kind of face, blah, 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 blah. And
Yep.
here's the kind of sexy stuff I like to hear. And basically you're creating a bot that is going to be interacting with you. Seems like it's a beautiful, vivacious human being or a hunky dude, whatever you're into.
Yep.
And you have this virtual experience with a unreal made up being.
Yes.
All right.
But a being that is tuned into me. And I think that's the piece that I really want to get to is that when there's an experience of someone who knows what I like, is interested in what I'm interested in, they don't have an agenda. I mean, frankly, the companies have an agenda, and that's to take my money, but they don't have an agenda in this other than to please me. And so it's a different version of fantasy than just looking at somebody else's sexual experiences or inserting myself into porn or even having hookups and being in real life with another person because they want something too and they're real, but yet this virtual person is just there for me.
Hmm. You know, it makes me really curious about as you're describing this, it sounds like heaven, right? Like everything goes my way. I get everything I want.
Wow. If
Um,
that's heaven,
I,
if that's heaven, there's some flames underneath it somewhere because that is far from
yeah,
heaven.
I have no difficulties. There's no conflict in this relationship. There's no challenges to overcome. And I just wonder, are we hardwired to live in a state where we get everything we want, where it's, I you know, I go back to these conversations that I've had with my kids or my grandkids over the years where they'll be like, I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. Blah, blah, blah. And I say to them, it's good that you're bored actually, because if you get everything you want all the time, your level of excitement kind of reaches a plateau and you can't up the ante anymore. And so your motivation and your excitement at having fun things or novel things happen just kind of wears off, and so boredom is actually kind of a built-in way for your nervous system to maintain a degree of homeostasis, right? If all you have is excitement, you don't recognize excitement anymore.
Right. Overstimulation happens, and then you're always running on, uh, what was it? Well, not what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you're always running on a cortisol high, and so you're go 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 go. I mean, it's like this feeling when you are living in a stressful environment. You get used to being numbed out up, and so what happens when that up finally goes away? You crash through, as we call it, the window of tolerance, and you move into depression because the only thing that feels real is that energetic high.
Yeah. So if you look at the nervous system, like there's two branches of the autonomic nervous system: the sympathetic, which is called sympathetic because it moves us into action. Usually that fight flight response is kind of at the more intense side of that, but it can just be excitement. It can be, you can be sympathetically activated in competitive play, in where there's competition, there's a little bit of a challenge, and we all enjoy that type of play. And then the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system is social engagement on the higher end, but it's shut down on the lower end, and immobilization. And we need all of that. We need to go back and forth between those states to maintain this balance they call homeostasis. All of life is built around these kind of ebbs and flows of human being. Like we live in that place of I get excited and now I need to rest. I get angry and now I need to calm down. I'm calm and now I need to pick myself up.
And that's as I was watching the movie Her, with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson, that's one of the things that stood out to me was initially when he starts having this conversation with this person who's curated for his liking. He says, you know me better than anyone else. But then after the honeymoon phase of this novelty of, hey, there's this, I can open up my phone and I can always have a conversation with someone who wants to be with me and is excited about life and excited about being with me. Then you move into the, where's the lull, where's the homeostasis, where's the break, and I'll say this, where's the me time? Where's the individualization that happens holds the tension in a relationship that doesn't exist because I feel good when I'm with this virtual girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever it is. And yet when I'm away, I feel bad. So I go back more and more and more. But the more I go back, the less connected I feel, the less novelty is there. Just like any drug, it diminishes over time. And so now I've set myself up to enter back into that same dynamic, which is, okay, why isn't it like it was at the beginning? What's wrong with me?
So what happens in the movie? Does he end up breaking up with the AI
Oh,
girlfriend?
no. No, she dumps him for another operating system. So the movie, I would say if you're gonna watch it, and again, it's an R-rated movie, and there's some stuff in there that if you don't want to be triggered, don't watch it. It's fine. You can watch clips and stuff. But the first 30 minutes are really kind of like he's mourning the loss of a human relationship. He's getting divorced. He's feeling lonely. Work is kind of monotonous. And there's this novel new thing of a new AI operating system that becomes the girlfriend. And so I think that's where a lot of guys are, is they're just kind of bored with their life. Maybe they've had pain that's entered into their story. Maybe there's a lot of frustration and a desire to just kind of check out. And yet I can open up an app and I can create an avatar and I can see some sexy pictures and I can connect on probably the most arousing part of the movie is when they're faking sexual conversations. It feels real, but then you realize after you watch it, first of all, it's two human beings performing in a movie. It's not real. They're playing out a script. But number two, there's no bodies to interact with. And we talked about this before. Nothing's real for me until it happens in my body. There's nothing to act off of. And there's even a real awkward sequence where the AI girlfriend tries to bring in a human woman to pretend to be her to interact with the guy. And it's super awkward. And he shuts it down because he's like, this isn't you. So there's so much in this that I think is we need to ask the questions. What are people really wanting that this AI girlfriend or AI boyfriend could possibly ever satisfy?
Well, I would think you're going to be able to get the technology to the point where you could have, video chat, so you could masturbate in front of each other. So you could involve your bodies to a degree in it. And in that sense, it would replicate a lot of what people are already getting by either doing camming or sexting if they're engaged in that kind of behavior anyway. With the upside of this is not occurring with a real person, right? So I don't feel like I'm probably morally violating anything, because who am I really hurting here if I'm a single guy or a single girl doing that? Like, who am I violating except my own values?
This is not cheating.
Yeah. But, and even if, yeah, well, I'm not really hurting my wife, even. So you could see how people could rationalize this as, yeah, this is just all make believe. It's just fun, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing really real to this.
Well, take it to the end. It's just a toy. This is just an AI girlfriend is just a toy. Just like you use a vibrator, I'm using an AI girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so
But
she
when
says
you say
words.
I use a vibrator, you're not actually saying that.
Not you.
Okay.
My partner.
Thank you.
No, not literally.
We're not reviewing
Scott
that.
does not use vibrators to my
Thank
knowledge.
you for that.
And he is saying he does not. But what I'm saying is, anything that's mechanized or anything that is inhuman can be like, oh, it's just an instrument. It's just a tool. That's not cheating.
Yeah.
That's not being unfaithful.
Right.
So it could go there.
And you could see how it could go to the point of, with Apple's Vision Pro goggles or whatever, you strap like a fleshlight on your penis and you're having virtual sex and experiencing what intercourse would be like with the virtual girlfriend. So I don't think that's too far off, probably. Yeah. So,
but what is the desire? What itch is being scratched when people are clicking on these apps and looking to have these experiences? What are they really wanting?
Well, I think I'm going to insert myself in this scenario and think if I wanted this, what would I be wanting out of it? I think the first thing is what I said is kind of, this is a low risk way for me to just be sexual with myself and not feel a lot of shame about it. Right. So if I'm lonely and I'm wanting connection, but I don't want to take the risk of a real world relationship, this is a great option for me. It makes me feel good. It meets my needs. It gives me the illusion of connection, and it's all at my command, right? So I'm becoming kind of my own little god of my sexual experience here, and structuring things the way I want them to perfectly go.
All right, so you just dropped a dump truck load on us.
Yeah.
And we need to break this apart. So you said, I want to be sexual with myself. You said it's low risk. You said I'm meeting my own needs. You said ultimately I'm becoming my own God. I'm creating my own facsimile of a relational connection. It's not a real relationship, but it feels like it with the interplay.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I was going to say is Patrick Carnes, who's kind of the godfather of sexual addiction treatment, says there's 4 core beliefs that everybody who struggles with sexually compulsive behavior, addictive behavior has. The first one is, I'm a bad, worthless person. The second one is, if anybody knew what I was really like, they would hate me, reject me, I'd be abandoned. The third one is, nobody cares for my needs, so I got to take care of them myself. And the last one is, sex is my most important need. So you can see how this AI experience meets all of those
All of them.
criteria,
All of them.
all of
Yeah.
them, right? Um, so yeah, to start breaking it down, the first one is I'm a bad worthless person.
Okay. So that's again, I have a technology because that's what it is. It's not a person. It's a there's a technology who tells me I'm not a bad, worthless person. I'm attractive. I'm handsome. You turn me on. I love you. Whatever the words are. And again, I'm operating from a bit of ignorance because I've not gone down the AI girlfriend route, and frankly, I don't want to because I don't need more shit in my brain than I've already got. I've already got a truckload in there. But whatever that may be, it's this affirmation, this perceived attunement, this facsimile of relational connection that's being given to me, even if it's only in print, even if it's just like a text chatbot. And as things improve and it becomes verbal, then that'll up the ante a little bit. As things improve even more and it becomes video and verbal, that ups the ante even more. So you have all of these facsimiles of someone telling me I'm not a bad, worthless person, and yet what's their agenda? What do the creators of AI girlfriend, AI boyfriend want from me?
They want your wallet.
They're pimps.
They want your loyalty.
They're pimping out a technology so that I will get hooked on this experience.
Yeah.
And so now I'm stuck because I get everything I want, and yet it cost me.
So you used the word attunement, which is psychobabble. So let's like break down attunement. What does attunement mean?
Well, we get to be, if you're watching on YouTube, which I encourage, if you don't get around to it, but I encourage you to watch on YouTube because we have beautiful faces. Look at these faces. They're gorgeous. Is I see you seeing me. And that's one of the things that we've built in our relationship is the ability to tune to each other's faces and see facial expressions and see emotion and see body language just by looking into another human being's face. We're hardwired to look for that when we come into the world. And so when there is a face, and albeit a very attractive face, a face that I like to look at, I mean, just put yourself in those shoes, Scott. You see someone that you find attractive. How do you feel when you look in their face?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I feel delight is what I feel. But here's my big question about this technology is, can it replicate authentic attunement, which leads to human attachment? Because the way we form our attachment bonds, the way we form intimate relationships with other people is by looking in their faces, by hearing the tonality of their voices, by the tilt of their head, by their gaze. It's those nonverbal communication cues that as babies were communicated to us first by our mothers and then our fathers. And that's how we learned attachment relationships. They were kind of encoded into us. And there's so much of that that is nonverbal, right? It's not so much, all of it is nonverbal, right brain to right brain, intuitive communication. And I fundamentally do not believe that AI technology will be able to replicate genuine attunement and therefore genuine attachment because there's no right brain in the other individual.
But Scott, you are missing the whole point of the technology. First of all, we don't see those things now in porn and hookups and massage parlors and all the various ways that we connect with real humans. Is there a real attachment there?
You're saying we don't see real attunement and real attachment if we go get a happy ending, right? We're not.
Yeah.
We know we're not.
We're not looking for that. I want to have a facsimile of someone being there for me, and I get it in a bastardized way already.
But that's my point is when you do go look for those things, you're looking for attunement and attachment through your penis. You just don't realize that that's what you're doing.
100%. But this is just another way to shortcut that customizes the experience to me. At least I know her face doesn't look real, but at least she's saying, or he's saying, the things that I've always wanted someone to say.
But Chris,
I'll be hold
wait.
on, hold on. I'll be very vulnerable in the darkest point of my acting out days, when I was having an affair with somebody. Um, this person said to me the words that I'd always longed for another human being to say to me, which is, "I'll do whatever you
I'll
want.
do anything.
I'll do anything." Right. And I looked through all of the brokenness in her face. I ignored all the character defects that I didn't like. Just hearing those words come out of her mouth, human to human, was enough to do two things: to thrill me to no end, and to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because I got it. Now, again, what we're doing here is we're taking all of the danger and worry of human interaction out of the process by facsimilating a human relationship online. You get all of the fantasy and none of the reality, and that's what many people are chasing.
Okay, I agree with you so far, but I'm going to take you now to the end of that affair. Did you feel
Sure.
full? Did you feel full or empty?
No, hell no. It kept all night, and it about ruined my life.
Just like sexting or masturbating to porn or whatever I've
Right.
done, it's empty. It's empty
Yes.
at the end of it. So the illusion only lasts until the orgasm. And then when it's over, I feel more empty and more shame and more hatred for myself. And my contention is that AI will be no less as empty, because you realize this isn't even a real person. Like if I'm sexting with a real person. There's a real person there right now. But in the future, it could just be a bot. Now I don't even have that sense of human connection. And when I'm done, I'm like, man, do I feel like
But
a real?
Scott, people are paying thousands of dollars for this experience. You were reading the article about it.
Yeah, I know
Young,
that we read
young
the
men
article. A
are
guy is
paying.
paying $10,000 a month for an AI girlfriend.
Yeah. And so I understand that at the end, they're all going to, come crashing down. But what I want our listeners to hear is that even in looking for this experience now, the novelty of this technology, and it's just in the infancy stages, like you alluded to, is it's going to increasingly become more and more novel and more customized to each individual's arousal template. What turns you on sexually. And it's going to feel like you're getting enough of that attunement to be able to ignore all the pitfalls. And there's plenty of people on this road that just have to understand this is a black hole. It will suck you in to the point where sometimes you can't get back to a place where you can make sense of your life, and you will crash and burn, and it will be catastrophic. But such is the case with every technology and every advancement in the sex industry. But I just want to say that because I think of all the things we've run across in our time doing this, this is the thing that makes me the saddest, because it has so many pieces. It could be very helpful. I mean, you could take that same affirming, those 4 points that Patrick Carnes listed. You could take those four things and you could twist them a little bit into the positive, and they could be an affirming experience. You're good, that Stuart Smalley. Gosh darn it, you're good enough. You're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Sex is a beautiful thing when you connect with a human being. I'm not a human being. I'm just an AI bot. You could go out there. I know you can meet a wonderful person. You just twist that language, that chat language a little bit, and you get to a place where it's not consumptive. But that's not what the business owners want. They want to steal our money, and they want to steal our souls. And there's a darker, more sinister thing behind that. But that's what makes me sad, that I will never find a technology that will make me feel whole.
Yeah, and I think the dark, sinister side. We don't talk about the role of evil, like real evil in this, like metaphysical evil, but to me, it's here present in this, in simply the idea of I take away all of the risk in my life and all I provide is the pleasure, and it enslaves me. It makes me a slave to my own desires. So it takes my own longings and it uses them against me. And that's what evil has always been doing from the get-go, from the start, right? And so this is just a more sophisticated, maybe insidious, maybe more subtle way of doing that, because it seems like I'm customizing my experience, my sexual experience around this AI bot, and I'm getting everything I want. And I find out that at the end of the day, everything I want is the worst possible situation I could ever be in, because it doesn't require any growth in me. It doesn't require any change in me. It doesn't make me more mature. I stay a little boy for the rest of my life. And that's who's adopting this. This guy that was paying $10,000 a month is a 24-year-old young man, or who's paying $10,000 a month for an AI bot girlfriend. What is he really learning about how to have a real relationship?
It's just like your kids and your grandkids who get bored and they want to play a game and entertain themselves. Yeah, that may be helpful for a little bit, but if all they did was play games, entertain themselves, and pull out a tablet and stare at that for the next 10 years, how are they going to grow up and become the people that they're meant to be? And what you said is true. Desire is a good thing when it's pursued to stretch you and create growth and maturity in you. When desire goes mad, which is literally what the word lust means, is desire gone mad. And you can be lustful about anything, not just sex. When that goes mad, you move back into that little boy stage where you just stay stuck and you don't learn and have the experiences interpersonally that you need to grow.
And I'm reading this book on sexual pleasure right now, and it's such a good book. But one of the thoughts that really struck with me as I was reading it this morning was she talks about this couple where one of them has a lot of high sexual desire and the other has low sexual desire. And the person with the high sexual desire had to learn that sex is not a need. Okay. It's a desire, but it's not like hunger. It's not like thirst. It's not like a bodily need that if you don't do that thing, you're going to die. You are not going to die if you don't have sex. But love is a need, and you do need to feel loved. You do need to feel connected. But if your arousal template formed around the only way I can experience love is by having sex, you see the problem. Now I've paired a need with a desire and I've confused the two as one. And here becomes the problem, because if I go to my partner, I'm high sex drive, she's lower sex drive, and I am demanding to have sex with her. What is that doing to her desire to have sex with me? And then on the flip side of that, what if she complies and gives me pity sex? How much arousal do I experience in that, right? So you see, even our sexual desires are designed to be in this ebb and flow between high desire and low desire, and not misinterpreting our desire to have sex as a drive, as a physiological drive. It is a desire, but what I do need physiologically, I need to be seen, I need to be loved, I need to be delighted in, and to unwire those two so that when I go to my partner, I can say, I would like to have sex with you, but the door is always open, and I want you to feel free to pursue that when you want to pursue it too.
And when you get to that place, sex becomes the crescendo, the exclamation point, the icing on the cake of love and connection.
So,
And
so
that's
when
what,
you
and
create this system where all your entitlements are met and the other person is always obligated to meet them, you're destroying yourself.
yes,
That's what's
yes,
ultimately happening.
self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Stick around for that conversation. There's one of those coming up soon about why we, feel like we deserve everything to go to shit. But ultimately, when we're talking about sexuality, sex on demand is not real love. It's just not. And AI girlfriend, AI boyfriend sells the product that I can have sex on demand. Porn sells the product I can have sex on demand, but I don't, like you said, Scott, don't really want sex. I want connection. I want love. I want to feel that in my body. And that requires a process, that requires tension, that requires a give and take. It requires me to grow.
So that's why I'm skeptical on this technology. I think it would have a huge, like they're projecting it to be a $1 billion industry. But I don't think it's sustainable in the long run, because I think ultimately everybody will get to the point, if they use this and adopt this, of going, there's nothing here at the end of it. And so it loses its appeal, because it is that thing. It's like, if my child has fun every single day, if they have the most incredible day every single day, they never have this ebb and flow within their nervous system where they recognize excitement and rest, peace and thrills. And so everything is thrilling, and I get set, my level of expectation in my body, my nervous system gets set up there, and then nothing's thrilling. When everything's thrilling, nothing's thrilling. When I get everything I want sexually, I find out that I'm bored with sex.
Yep.
That's where I think this goes ultimately. So I think it'll have a huge adoption spike and then crater, because you can't sustain this.
Well, all I want our listeners to hear is it's yet another in the series of technological advancements to try to sell you a lie.
And ultimately that's, it's just like pornography, Chris. You start off with vanilla porn and you end up watching, girls mate with donkeys or something, because you have to keep upping the ante to keep the excitement and thrills high.
Yeah.
That's where this will go.
It is, but I want to be compassionate to the guys who clicked on this link and listened all the way through in this episode. Realize we're not condemning you. We're not shaming you. We're just trying to help you sit with the complexity of this desire. What is it in your body that makes you come alive when the thought of someone affirming you, seeing you, praising you, arousing you comes up, and you want to have this person on demand all the time? What do you really want? What are you really looking for? And take some time to be compassionate toward yourself. One of the things that we're going to be doing in the next few weeks, we have the opportunity to talk about what turns you on in real time. And we're going to be doing that on May 24th. It's a Friday at 11 a.m. Central. So 12 Eastern and 9 Pacific. So if you want to log on to our YouTube channel, and we'll be there live broadcasting for an hour there at 11 a.m. Central, Friday, May 24th. You can bring your questions. You can engage with us. We're going to record this, but it doesn't do any good to ask questions after it's already been recorded. Show up live or send your questions to wegotballs00@gmail.com. And we'll be fielding some of those questions and interacting together for an hour there in that space, because we want you to be seen and heard and cared for. And we want to offer some compassion to you.
So if you've got balls, guys, show up for that. And bring us your fantasies to decode. We'll give our best shot. We may not get it, but it'll be fun. It'll be a fun experience.
We'll be together, and we'll be talking about all the things that we've got coming up. We've got some exciting opportunities, group work, retreats, a bunch of different things that we want to engage you in. If you're available and willing, we want to help you on this journey to heal that little boy who cries out inside of you, please somebody see me. And to do that work, it requires you to say, we got balls.
And so do you.
Take care, guys.
Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes. You can connect with Chris and with Scott at successfulmen.com.